right now comes from being one of the sacred months. And we said the sacred months are called Ashhur al-Hurum because the fighting is forbidden. Generally speaking, any sin is forbidden in these sacred months, but and that's why fighting would be extremely prohibited. And once people put their weapons down, that means they're able to travel the peninsula, in the Arabian Peninsula freely, which means they're able to make it to the old house of Allah for Hajj. And even in Jahiliyyah, people used to go to Hajj. So anyone knows the Ashhur al-Hurum, by the way? You know how many are they? 4. And which the first one is? The first month of Ashhur al-Hurum is? No? I mean, it is Muharram as the beginning of the Hijri year. But now what's after Muharram? I wish I have candy. If I have candy, there we go. You get a candy if you do it right. Rajab, exactly. So Rajab, as Allah said in the Quran, إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها أربعة حرم. So the first is Rajab, which comes 2 months before Ramadan, and then after that, Dhul Qa'dah, which is the month that comes after Shawwal, and then the month of Hajj, and then Shahrullah Muharram. As the sister mentioned, you know, this would make it possible for the Hajjis to travel to Hajj and make it back from Hajj to their own local towns. So now that has been said, now we understand the meaning of Ashhur al-Hurum, the sacred months. And now we understand now why this first month called Shahr Allah al-Muharram, the month, the sacred month of Allah. So if the Prophet ﷺ is telling us that this specific month from the Ashhur al-Hurum, the sacred month, is called the sacred month of Allah, that means that this month has very special value. Unlike Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. Even though Dhul Qa'dah is one of the sacred months, but there is nothing significant about it. Al-Hajj, Dhul Hijjah is significant because of the Hajj. Like, what's significant about the month of Muharram? That is not only being one of the sacred months, it is one of the sacred months that Allah Azza wa Jal have named it Shahr Allah, the month of Allah al-Muharram. Anyone knows? The question is, why the Prophet ﷺ called the month we're in right now Shahr Allah al-Muharram, the sacred month of Allah? Yes? Aha. The reason why Allah Azza wa Jal called this month as His own month and made it one of the sacred months is because it is significantly valuable by itself. And it happened that Allah Azza wa Jal not only saved Bani Israel in this month, but He also landed the ship of Noah on this month. Accepted the tawbah of Adam alayhi salam, accepted the tawbah of the siblings of Yusuf alayhi salam. Many significant events throughout the history of humanity happened in this month. And it happened also in this month that Allah Azza wa Jal have saved the children of Israel. Like, what were the children of Israel were exposed to that Allah Azza wa Jal have saved them from? What they were exposed to? The aggression of Fir'aun, la'natullahi alayhi. طيب. Now, what did Fir'aun do to Bani Israel? Slaughter their own, male children and left their female alive. طيب. This is, a private question, as they call, between 2 brackets. Who's more brutal? Is it Fir'aun or the Lord of the war that is killing children in Gaza? Let's talk about what's happening in Gaza first. That's a good question. What's happening right now in Gaza? There are children who are being killed. You guys don't watch social media? You don't watch the news? I think you might want to start taking at least 10 or 5 minutes of your time to watch any news outlet, but I recommend Islamic news outlet and see what is happening in Palestine. In Palestine right now, for the past 2 months, there is a genocidal war, and this term that I'm using is not my own term, it's now being used by many politicians around the globe. And civilians are being killed, those who are seeking refuge in hospitals, in schools, those who are lining up to get aid, meaning to say flour, water, because they're dying out of hunger. And literally there are kids, children, dying in Gaza right now as a result of lack of food and medication and water. And as they try to make their way and line up to get, there's this supplies, they're being bombarded. They're even shot at or bombarded by rockets, and they're being killed on the spot. And this is inhumane. In my own assessment, I said that today in another gathering, that Fir'aun is more merciful than the administration of the American government, who sends these bombs to kill civilians in Gaza. Why? Because Fir'aun, may the la'na of Allah be placed on him, was killing only the male children and allowing the female to survive. What we're seeing in Gaza is not only killing the male children, we're seeing the killing of the whole family. We've seen whole family, children with their parents and even grandparents and extended family being all killed in 1 minute with a mega bomb. So now we go back again to why the 10th of Muharram, which is called Ashura, is significant. Because Allah saved the children of Israel from the aggression of Fir'aun on the 10th of Muharram. And as Allah described this to us in the Quran, in Surah Ibrahim, who memorizes Surah Ibrahim, by the way? MashaAllah. طيب, let's go over it together, okay? وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا مُوسَى بِآيَاتِنَا أَنْ أَخْرِجْ قَوْمَكَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. Right? طيب, what else? وَذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ, and remind them about the days of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa said to us in the Quran, we've sent Musa with our signs, our ayat of the Torah, and to take the people out of the darkness to the nur of Allah. And وَذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ, remind them about the days of Allah. What are the days of Allah Azza wa Jal? One of these days of Allah Azza wa Jal is the day in which He saved the children of Israel from the aggression of Fir'aun. Okay? طيب. إن في وإذ قال موسى لقومه اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم. Where is the person who rises Surah Ibrahim? Or he's not paying attention. طيب. يذبح أبناءكم ويستحيي نساءكم إن في ذلك لبلاء من ربكم عظيم. Allah Azza explained to us that the children of Israel were exposed to very brutal treatment. Their male children were slaughtered in front of their own eyes. When a newborn comes to this life, a police officer will be waiting by the door. Show me the baby. If the baby is female, okay, here you go, we don't care. And they let her survive so she can work as a maid in the palace of Fir'aun and the leaderships of Fir'aun. And if it's a boy, right on the spot, he will take the knife, and in front of the mom, here you go, and he slashed the throat. How brutal this is, very brutal. And Allah described it in the Quran, Bala'un Azim, a very huge and big test. Now again, as we an ummah right now, in the count of almost 2 billion, we have 2 million living in a small geographical area called Gaza, and these people are subjugated to aggression that, in my own assessment, more severe than the aggression that the people of Israel, of Bani Israel, were subjugated to by Fir'aun la'natullahi alayhi. Because at least for them, the female will stay alive. And the killing is done by yearly. 1 year they kill all the children, the other year they don't kill all the children. But what we're seeing right now, for the past 2 years, they have been killing indiscriminately all the children and the adults who are civilian. So this is more severe than what the Israelis were exposed to. طيب, why I'm sharing this with you and what we need to get out of this? We go back again to the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jal said to Musa alayhi salam, remind your own people about the signs of Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب, what's the point, Ya Rabbi? What's the point to remind them about these things? Anyone knows? Why do we need to be reminded about the days of Allah Azza wa Jal? Anyone knows? Okay, absolutely. So that despair feelings would not be creeping to our hearts. So depression would not be tying our hands. Because when we hear about what's happening to our brothers and sisters in Gaza, we feel, oh my gosh, this is very brutal. Muslims are helpless. They are powerless. Our conditions will not change. We will continue to be slapped left and right, and no one is paying attention to our suffering. Have you guys heard about what's happening in Ukraine? When the war in Ukraine started, the whole world stood on one foot and they were all supporting Ukrainian people to defend themselves. Now, for the past 2 years, the Palestinians are being slaughtered like a chicken, and no one is even bothered to say a word to stop this slaughtering from happening. And the aid to the aggressor continues to pour from so many powerful nations on earth. Despite of how bleak this is, we still believe that Allah victory is coming. The days of Allah Azza can be repeated. Whatever happened at the time of Fir'aun, la'natullahi alayhi, to the children of Israel by the leadership of Musa alayhi salam, could possibly happen once again. In what's happening to the children of Gaza. Maybe they might not have a prophet like Musa alayhi salam, but there are believers who memorize the Quran from the children of Gaza who are standing right now and saying to the whole world and to the idiot Trump who's saying to them, I'm gonna take you out of your own lands, I'm gonna build the most beautiful resorts on earth. And Gaza is going to be the most beautiful vacation resorts, and it would be, whatever, You say to him, you're an idiot. Seriously, this is what the children of Gaza are saying to Trump. They're laughing at him. They're saying, Mr. President, you're an idiot. Because no matter what you do, and no matter what happens, we will never leave our land, because this is a land that belongs to the Muslim Ummah. Because we're standing to defend the Masjid al-Aqsa. Who heard about the Masjid al-Aqsa? Show me hands. What's the Masjid al-Aqsa? The furthest mosque? Yes, tell us more about it.
One of the 3 sacred
mosques.
Yeah.
It is the second mosque established on earth by the Malaika. The first mosque established on earth was Al-Bayt al-Haram. And the second is Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. What's the time distance between the two? 40 years. So the first place of worshiping on earth is Al-Bayt al-Haram. The second place of worshiping is Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And the time difference between the two of them is 40 years only. And it is, for us as Muslims, part of our deen. We will never give it up. And guess who's standing to defend Al-Masjid al-Aqsa? The children of Gaza. So they're saying to the whole world, no matter what happened, no matter how collaborative you are with the aggressors who are killing us, no matter how much you give behind our back in secret and under the table of money and bombs and war machines to help killing more of us, we will never be leaving our land, and we will continue to stand defending Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And you know what? All of them, as they are memorizers of the Quran. How many of you memorizes the Quran, by the way? Let me see hands. MashaAllah, Ayan. There we go. MashaAllah. You need to be proud of yourselves, because you are the followers of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ فَيُضِلُّ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. This is in Surah Ibrahim, right? What does it mean? You know translation? What was the translation? Allah said that we send to people a prophet or a warner speaks their own language. And you guys now memorize the Quran, you speak the language of the land you're in, and you are acting like the prophets of Allah as well. You should be proud of yourself, but not be arrogant. Now, those brothers in the back, the three of them, can we ask one of you to sit here, come here? Maybe the white shirt, come here. And the one next to him, maybe you can come and sit next to here, come to the middle. There we go. Yeah. Because you are wearing Palestinian t-shirt, I want to be inspired by you. That's why I want you to come closer to me. Yes, there we go. طيب. Now let's go back again to our topic. Now, Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to remember the days of Allah. Why? So that no feelings of helplessness and powerlessness will be creeping to our heart. So that no matter what happened, we always believe that Allah the Mighty is the one who can make changes. And these changes comes from Him. And the victory is from Allah Azza wa Jal only, no one else. So that means that no matter how difficult situation is right now in Gaza, Allah Azza wa Jal is willing to make the change. And that's what we need to be reminded about as we're observing the 10th of Muharram. Because Allah Azza wa Jal saved Musa alayhi salam and the believers of Bani Israel at his time. By the way, do we have any problem with the believers of Bani Israel? No, they're believers. But what we are seeing right now are not the believers of Musa alayhi salam. And they're not following the teachings of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's why we're standing for haqq and justice by our own means and ways, by being advocate of the haqq, by participating in advocacy group, by supporting in any forms or shape of demonstrations, by making dua, and that's what we will be doing inshallah tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 10th of Muharram, right? The best thing we can do in the 10th of Muharram is to fast. What is the word of fasting on the 10th of Muharram? Yeah? Allah will forgive the sins of a whole year for you. Right? But when you are fasting, is your dua or is it guaranteed? Guaranteed. You know, the Prophet ﷺ told us, the Sa'im da'wah. You have a da'wah while you're fasting that is accepted. So when it is done when you're fasting on the day of Ashura, that means it's more guaranteed. And when you do it for the purpose that you are fasting, so that Allah Azza wa Jal will be having rahmah on the Muslim ummah, and more specifically on the children of Gaza, then rest assured inshallah that Allah Azza wa Jal the Mighty will be responding to your dua. So can we make this as a deal for all of us? That tomorrow, inshallah, we will be fasting. I know it's going to be a bit difficult, but tomorrow is Saturday, and it's already summer, so I don't think it's going to be that difficult for you to fast tomorrow. Do your best. Fast as long as you can. If you did not make it all the way to the end, at least you tried half a day. But if you're able to do it all the way to the end, then you're lucky, because you got all your sins for the year being forgiven. Khalas. And on the top of that, we will be coming to the masjid after Salat al-Asr, not to jump and play and talk, but to grab the mushaf and read from it if you're able to read. If not, then grab one of the masabih, the subha, and do istighfar and tasbih to Allah Azza wa Jal. And as the time comes closer to Salat al-Maghrib, no communication, we're going to be all making dua, individual dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. To A, forgive our sins. B, to give rahmah to the Muslim ummah. C, to show us, signs from His in what's happening to our brothers and sisters in Gaza that will make, inshallah, a huge breakthrough in what's happening to the Muslim ummah. Do you think this is impossible? No way, it's not impossible, because we have no doubt whatsoever that Allah Azza wa Jal is able to say to things, be, and they would be. And we have no doubt that Allah Azza wa Jal one day will give the victory to the Muslim ummah. That's out of the question. But why Allah is not giving the victory right now, Tayyib? What do you guys think? where it's talking about the victories from Allah, and there is no victory happening to the people of Gaza. It's been 2 years. So what's going on here? What do you guys think? Any thoughts? Any comments? In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, Sahaba were wishing to go and conquer Mecca. And the Prophet ﷺ did not want to go and conquer Mecca and kill, do so much killing inside Mecca. And Allah revealed the Quran after this to say, لَوْلَا رِجَالٌ مُؤْمِنُونَ وَنِسَاءٌ مُؤْمِنَاتٌ. If it's not to male and female believers in Mecca who were there because they were not able to expose their Islam, and at the same time they were not able to go out of Mecca, and if we were to conquer Mecca by force, they would be killed and we would be killing our own Muslim brothers. Allah could have allowed me to do it. And the same is to be said right now. Allah Azza wa Jal is testing not only the people of Gaza, He's testing all of us. Now when I ask you, how many of you know what is happening in Gaza? How many hands were raised? Let's do it again. How many people know what's happening in Gaza? MashaAllah, that's very significant. How many of you follow at least daily what's happening in Gaza? MashaAllah, very amazing, very impressive. See, Allah is giving you the chance to get rewards from Allah Azza wa Jal. How? Because when you follow up with what's happening in Gaza, you are being, in pain, you are doing dua, you're pushing yourself to send an email, to pass on, a message on social media, and I want you to be careful using social media, because social media, negative outcome is more than the positive outcomes. Use your parents with discretion to use social media, and you were able to go out and participate in demonstrations. You were able to do, any activities to support the children of Israel. And as you do, as children of Gaza, and as you were doing that, you were gaining more rewards, right? And at the same time, there were more shuhada being accepted from Gaza. وَيَتَّخِذْ مِنْكُمْ shuhada. So Allah Azza wa Jal could have easily ended that conflict in the same hour. But Allah Azza wa Jal wants things to change in His own terms and conditions. Because the Muslim Ummah right now is in deep sleep. When someone is in deep sleep, what happened to them? They don't know what's happening around them. Unless someone come and shake them very hard, and if that neck waking up, what should you do to them? You give them boom, a big slap in the face, and that should wake them up. And that's what the Muslim Ummah right now is in need for. It is in need for now a boom, a big slap in the face to wake up. Because it's shameless to see 2 billion not doing anything to 2 million who are trapped in small geographical area where they are not in need for too much, they just need for basics of living. Does that make sense? Right. Now as we're concluding, do you have any questions or any thoughts in your mind you want to be clarified? That applies for both sides. I know that the food is here, and when the food is here, no one is able to think. Khalas, your mind shuts down. Yes, you have a question? Yeah, go down. Guys, do you mind if we just, yeah, just.
It was called Judea, and apparently, the Romans took over that country and that land, and named it Syria, Palestina, and then later on it changed up Palestine, and then now that it's back to the land. I just want to say that.
In other words, you're asking, do the Israelis have any historical right in the land of Palestine? And the short answer to this, no. And maybe we can, inshallah, arrange for someone, not necessarily myself, to give a presentation about the history of the land of Palestine from ancient time all the way to the present time. From ancient time, the land of Palestine is known to be the Canaani people. Canaani are a group of people who inhabited the land of Palestine. And now Israel refers to Yaqub alayhi salam, right? And Yaqub is one of the children of Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? No, actually, the grandchild of Ibrahim alayhi salam, because he's a child of Ishaq. طيب. So the Israeli myth started by Yaqub alayhi salam's, right? طيب. Now, when we go back in time, Ishaq alayhi salam is the son of Ibrahim. And Ibrahim was not from Palestine, was he? Where he was from? Iraq. So Ibrahim, because he stood for the Haqq, was chased out of Iraq and was trying to make his way to Palestine. Clear? So that answers from the get-go that the ancient from ancient time, the land of Palestine belongs to the Canaani. Now, why Ibrahim, he made it to Palestine, and then from Palestine he went to Egypt, and then in Egypt he was not treated well, so he came back again from Egypt to Palestine. And the story that's known to some of you, right? Why Ibrahim was able to settle in Palestine, not in Egypt? I'll answer to you quickly, because the people who were in Palestine were muwahhidun. You know what's muwahhidun? They believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. So because they believed in Allah, and Ibrahim was muwahhid, believed in Allah Azza wa Jal, so they were in harmony, and the king of the town or the land in Palestine liked Ibrahim because he's a prophet of Allah, and he allowed him to settle in a town, and he called that town Khalil, Hebron, as we know it nowadays. So this speaks for the historical background. And then after that, Ibrahim settled in Palestine for some time. And then eventually, what happened to the Israelis, to the children of Yaqub alayhi salam? So how long from the immigration of Ibrahim to the birth of Ishaq and the birth of Yaqub? Like maybe 50 years? Okay, so then after that, the children of Ishaq, which is, Israel, Yaqub alayhi salam, he had 12 children, right? Among them is Yusuf alayhi salam. And we know what happened to the children of Israel. Because of famine, they had all to leave out of Palestine. So if they all lived out of Palestine, how large they were in numbers? They probably were less than 50 or 100. Because it's easy for them to move. So they moved from there to Egypt, and they stayed for years there, and then they came back again to Palestine. So that means they were not inhabitants, and they were not native of the land. They happened to be people who come to live in Palestine, like so many others who have come to live in Palestine, but they have no religious right, nor historical right in the land of Palestine. As I said, inshallah, I'll talk to the brothers, and we'll make arrangements for a presentation for you guys, because you need to understand your deen. This is part of your aqidah, your deen. So the short answer is no, and the Muslims are the true, native of the land of Palestine. I'm from Palestine. I can trace my roots back all the way to Shu'aib alayhi salam, all the way to behind Ibrahim alayhi salam. We know, like, our chain of history. But for those who have came in the past, 78 years, if you ask them, where are you from? They say, I am from Israel. Well, excuse me, you don't look like, the people of the Middle East. Your parents are either from Ukraine or from Albania, Poland, or from Russia, or from America. How could you be a Palestinian? How could you be a native of a land? This colonialism ideology does not and should not be sold to us as Muslims, but rather should make us more convinced that this is a Muslim land and we're standing for it, and we will get it one day. Jazakumullah khairan. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll go to the food. Food. Here we go. Let's go for food. All right. Jazakumullah khairan. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. والعصر يسلمك حسن الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات وصلوا الحق وصلوا الصالحات.